the world's most dangerous fantasy football podcast.
Chef and the professor. Highly disputed. Highly disputed.
What is up, everyone? Sunday morning. Olympics just finished, Professor. You woke up 5 a.m. to watch this game.
My wife woke up at 5 a.m. and woke me up at 5:30, but
Shout out Chelsea.
yeah, hell of a game.
USA. Team USA with the gold. And women's hockey. Jewish boy from Florida with the game winner. Oof.
And his teeth knocked out too.
Tooth knocked out.
Yeah.
You know, I thought Canada was going to take this one. I thought that line, their top line with McDavid, McKinnon, and that 19-year-old, but a lot of grit and way to get the dub, both the men and the women for the United States.
Yeah, shout out the women's U.S. hockey team as well. To your point, they both actually beat Canada. Both games went into overtime for the gold. And both games, the U.S. looked like they were on the ropes. Like, not gonna lie, both games. I mean, Canada. Shout out Canada, women's and men's team. I know you came up second, but you know I watched both games pretty closely, and like, yeah, the Canada team had some very dominant stretches. So first time the U.S. men has won since Miracle on Ice. Shout out Lake Placid. Shout out upstate New York. But
Yeah. And this might be a controversial take, but I'm just going to say it anyways. Without getting too political, I think Russia should have a team. You know, there's a lot of countries in the world that are at war that are allowed to compete.
I was under the understanding that was because they were doping. Like the past few Olympics, it was like a cheating thing.
Yeah. I think this one is because of the Ukraine invasion. I could be wrong. Obviously, an egregious breach of power by a dictator. But I would just really like to see Kucherov, Vasilevsky.
It's a crappy.
I want to see those guys all on a team, and it should be best of the best. Leave politics out of it.
Yeah, I agree. It's every 4 years. You don't know if you're going to be able to get back. So I do feel bad for the Russian hockey athletes that weren't able to compete.
You know, Ovechkin.
Yeah.
Like that would be a hell of a team.
Some of the best players are
as a sports fan, I'd like to see that because they'd be right up there in the end. And also shout out to Slovakia and the Czech Republic going, you know, in the semis, put up a fight. Finland, all those guys. All right. Well, we're not really a hockey show. We're a football show.
Before we get into football, though,
we love sports, but American football is what's up. Yeah, let's go, Knicks.
We got to shout out the Knicks. The Knicks had the New York Knicks. My New York Knicks had their biggest comeback of the season. Unfortunately, I did not make a futures investment, even though I was watching the game. But they came back from 18 down in the fourth quarter.
Oof.
Jalen Brunson was cooking, playing the Houston Rockets, a formidable team. NBA is, it's football's over, but NBA and hockey, they're going to hold it down this year until baseball again. And
for sure, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see the boys back on ice coming off the Olympic break.
Exactly, especially with the Olympics, like the NHL is going to get a huge boost. This is a great. I mean, especially for the U.S. Like it was, the longer your team is in it in the Olympics, the longer you're going to want to watch, right? The teams. Like I wasn't really watching the bronze medal rounds because, the U.S. is playing for the gold.
And Hughes was a 1-1 pick. He was a prospect. He was a stud coming out. So now people get to know these dudes a little bit, and he's playing for the New Jersey Devils, 24 years old. He was first overall in 2019.
And there's
Macklin Celebrini is the guy I'm thinking about for Canada. 19 years old. He was the 1-1 last year. Plays for the San Jose Sharks. So, they're not on a lot of people's radar. But this guy's going to be the face of the league soon. Both of those two.
And speaking of face of the league, do you think Sid the Kid would have made the difference for Canada?
Yeah, I mean, he scored the OT last time. You discount his presence. But injuries are part of the game. It sucks to happen. But yeah, I mean, he's clutch. There's a
Yeah.
reason. He's like the Michael Jordan. No, Wayne
That's a Wayne
Gretzky.
Gretzky.
Wayne
Yeah.
Gretzky will always be. But let's say he's
The LeBron.
the LeBron without the flopping. No
Hey,
disrespect to LeBron. Man's 40 years old and still balling out there.
he is.
But yeah, it's hard to say what if, but we don't deal with what ifs. But yes, Sidney Crosby deserves to be a captain as long as he's playing, and he's going to be right up there with the great one at the end of his career. But I think Hughes and Celebrini are going to be the future of the NHL, and they just introduced themselves to a whole lot of folks on the big stage.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's get into football. Just some sad news came in. Rondale Moore, a guy a lot of folks will know from the Dynasty community, drafted by the Cardinals. He was found dead at only 25 years old. It's still under investigation, the cause of death, but just RIP to him and his family and his loved ones. It's way too young.
Yeah. Rondell Moore was one of the first trades I did early on in my Dynasty career. I was high on him. I watched a ton of tape on him from Purdue, just being kind of a smaller wide receiver.
Boilermakers.
Just being drafted so high. I was high on him, but just the last thing I expected, I heard something happened to a player from the Vikings. Didn't think it was going to be more, but rest in peace.
Yeah, 5'7".
4'3".
Yeah,
4'3".
and he just lit it up at the combine of 4'3", 240. That size, and to be drafted 49th overall in 2021. That's pretty incredible. First touchdown, 77-yard pass from Kyler Murray. So check in on your friends, check in on your family. You never know. All right, a little other news that is good news. The Cowboys and Javonte Williams agreed to a 3-year deal worth $24 million, averaging $8 million a year. Javonte was set to hit the free market. Looks like the Cowboys locked him down before he got the opportunity. What do you think?
I think it's a robbery. Listen, it's not my career. It's not my talent, but I'm gonna play agent here for a second. I think that was a terrible contract to take. And if I was this dude's agent, I would not have advised him to take that. And I would have personally negotiated better. I would take your chances in the market.
Well,
it's really not that good of a RB class outside of, and this is going to be a good segue because we're about to do the mock draft, but really it's Jeremiah Love. And then we don't even know who RB2 is.
Everybody else.
So I'm maybe the free agent class in the NFL is actually stronger than I'm thinking. I know it's K9,
There's
but
gonna be a lot of
free agents.
I believe so.
But of his caliber, I think it's really just K9. I could be wrong, but I think he would have had a shot. Isaiah Pacheco is a free agent, but he's better than
J.K. Dobbins, Travis Etienne, Rashad White, Isaiah Pacheco, Tyler Algiers, Rico Dowdle, Miles Sanders.
I'd say Etienne's
probably going to be.
And then Kenneth Walker are the only two that I would say he'd have to worry about. The other ones, I think he's proven more than Dowdle. Dowdle had probably more peak games, but he was splitting the backfield. He kind of fell off at certain points of the year. Hasn't done it before.
Well, he has done it before because he did it with the Cowboys. I think Dowdle is going to be.
I think what Dowdle did this year is far superior in a smaller vacuum, right? But to what he did with the Cowboys,
right.
If he had really done what he did with the Cowboys, they would have re-signed him, but they didn't, and they re-signed Javonte Williams.
Well, they signed him to a 1-year deal, and they let Dowdle walk.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying they re-signed Javonte Williams right now.
Yes.
Whereas they didn't re-sign Dowdle. They had, you know what I'm saying? So I'm
right.
Yeah, I think I would have waited. There's plenty of teams, the Chiefs are a team that could use an RB.
They've been linked. The Chiefs have been linked to ETN.
CTM, but the Vikings are a team, right? You got Aaron Jones, who's old, and then behind him you got
Jordan Mason.
Come on, you can go in there and be the RB1. There's plenty of contending teams that need an RB. Yeah, I would have taken my chances in free agency.
Okay, so to your point, Jerry, Jerry Jones, has been known to do these deals where he catches you in the weight room and it's kind of like a handshake deal where your agent isn't present. I'm not sure if that's one of those.
Listen, too much is put into the Cowboy brand.
Yeah.
And Jerry, listen, from one salesman to another, I appreciate what you've done and grown and what you're doing, but I'm here to tell you, your brand is part of your brand is what have you done for me lately? And with the Cowboys, it's nothing, right? I'm a Knicks fan, arguably the biggest brand in the NBA, right? Right there with the Lakers. The brand wasn't great for a while. They've been content,
Celtics.
right? Celtics too. They've been good for Celtics, Knicks, Lakers. The Knicks have been good for the last 5 years. The brand is different now. So like I wasn't watching the 90s
They'd be
Cowboys
good, but
Super
where's
Bowl.
the banners?
We about to get it this year. Yeah, I just as far as the Cowboys, like I haven't seen them. I mean, when was the
No.
last Cowboys playoff win that you saw?
Win?
Yeah, win.
I don't know. Probably
Exactly.
Tony Romo, but I remember him fumbling that kick
Exactly.
and trying to run it in. So I don't think that was a win. I remember them collapsing
That was
not
not a win
last year, but the previous year. Yeah,
against
I
the
mean,
Cowboys. Yeah,
yeah,
it's been a while. So what I'm saying is, I don't care if it's Jesus Christ in the weight room trying to negotiate a contract with me, right? What is he gonna say? What is the difference between the Cowboys and any other NFL franchise besides the city? And I'm sure Dallas is a great city. I haven't spent a lot of time in Dallas. You know, I got family in Dallas, my cousins in Dallas. But you know, is it the state income tax? Did he sell them on that? I mean, like there's other states. Like I don't, you know, like I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Why not go to Houston? Houston's a contender. They're in the playoffs. They need an RB.
there is no income tax in Texas. Here's the thing. So he got a $6 million signing bonus, which helps. He only made $3 million on a 1-year deal last year. He's a second round pick. So I think, you know, a 3-year contract gives him some stability and also gives him time to hit the open market again one more time in his career. Sometimes you don't want to move your family. You're happy with your role in an organization, and he did what he thought was best. But yeah, I'd like to see the agent at least take it to the open market and maybe counter and try to get a little more. But it's going to lower the bar a bit for some of these other top free agents, I think.
We'll see.
Franchise tag, like we said, franchise tag is at 14 mil.
Yeah,
So
14 and a half. Like, come on. So
8 million. He could have probably got 10 to 12, but like I said, it's his career and he did what he thought was best. And I think I think it does kind of, I think it moves him up a little in terms of dynasty implications. I think he's going to have that backfield locked down for the next year or two, you know, and just the fact that the team went out and re-signed him before free agent is kind of bullish. So it moves him up top 20 for me in Dynasty RBs. And yeah, we'll see if he can continue.
I think for Dynasty, if you have him, great. It's probably one of the better situations for him, if not the best. But and this kind of speaks to your point where maybe trying to look for a third contract. But for me, it's like, I don't see the Cowboys competing. Like, it's really has me scratching my head. Like, what exactly are we doing here? You know, from a career standpoint, like Saquon leaves the Giants, goes to the Eagles, wins the Super Bowl. Like, if you win, you'll still get paid again, right? Like, players that win on teams get overpaid the next year. Like,
Yeah.
K9 probably going to get overpaid, as you should, because the whole point is to win the game. But I'm scratching my head, but you know, it's probably enough on Javonte.
Yeah.
At least for me.
All right. So it's been a minute since we've done a mock draft. A lot of things have changed. There we go. We're going to do a 2-round mock draft. Shout out to First Down Studio for providing the platform. These rankings are theirs. This is Superflex Tight End Premium. So they are valuing the players according to their rankings. We're not necessarily going to follow those rankings.
Yeah.
Yeah. You went first last time.
You go.
I'll go first. You know, and there's a lot of factors that go into drafting, but you know, depending on your team, depending on your position, I'm a big fan of drafting best player available, and then, letting the chips fall where they may. But if you're in Superflex and you're just if you need a quarterback, I could totally see Fernando going 1-1. But again, I'm sticking with my philosophy. I'm sticking with best player available. And to me and to most everybody, that is Jeremiah Love, running back, Notre Dame. I think he's going to be a centerpiece, RB1 for the next 8 years. You're up.
Beautiful. Yeah, so I'm in agreement with you. So for me, there's a tier of receiver: Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon, and they're really all on the same tier for me, at least. So my differentiator is, if players are in the same tiers, is stats, right? Whatever you put on statistically, health, and then which one, who's the biggest dog. So for me, I'm going to go Mekhi Lemon.
There's only one guy with, and he just took him with 4 digits in receiving yards, and that's Mekhi Lemon.
And his PFF grade was the highest of any receiver this year. So even if you're in a statistical junkie, he hits those measurables. It's just speed and straight line speed. He's very quick, and size, which are a concern for people. But I'm 5'11's not a concern for size for me. It's actually probably closer to the current archetype for elite receivers right now, with that 6-footish range. You got JSN, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors. What more do you need to see?
Those guys are a little taller. I would say Malik and Neighbors. I think the comp is Amon-Ra St. Brown. If you look at Amon-Ra's production, he's up there. And I think Mekhi Lemon can replicate that because he has that really nuanced route running where he understands coverages. He understands what people are trying to do against him. And it's that chess match off the line of scrimmage that I think he excels at.
I like the Amon-Ra comp. For me, his ball skills in the end zone are better. That's why I'll even, Malik is probably a lofty comp. He has this ability to just come down with the ball. He's a dog.
I like to see his vertical at the combine because I think, jump ball, contested catch, I think he can go up and get it kind of better than Amon-Ra.
Yeah, and that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, agreed. Again, depending on what you need for your team, I could see Mendoza going here. But for me, I'm staying with best player available at 103. I know you're not as high as him as I am, but Carnell Tate is just, I think, as close to a slam dunk as you can get at wide receiver. Ohio State's just put out pro-ready wide receivers year after year, and I think he's the next guy up.
I agree.
You can look for upside with Tyson. If you need a quarterback, you can go Mendoza. But in terms of who has the highest floor, it's Tate. I don't see a lot of flaws in his game.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. The only thing that gives me cause, it's actually big cause, but it's not his fault. Because I think people are Emeka Egbuka played with elite receivers, and look what he did. The difference with Emeka Egbuka is that Emeka produced multiple years. Carnell is a bit of a 1-year wonder, and historically that doesn't really work out. But it's not like he was a 1-year wonder because he was bad or injured. He just couldn't get on the field because he had, Marv in front of him and just this, there's too much talent, but he didn't do anything.
I mean, 2024, he caught 52 balls for 733 yards, averaging 14.1 a clip. And 2025, he caught 48 balls for 838, averaging 17.5 a clip. Yeah, he's a deep ball specialist. Yeah, that would be the knock, is the other players on the field and coverages rolling towards Jeremiah Smith or, Marv and those guys when they were playing. But
maybe even the quarterback.
He had 2 seasons of averaging 14 and 17. He's a deep ball. He's going to stretch the field for you.
Yeah, I guess for me, that just doesn't scream slam dunk. Would like you to have had at least 1,000-yard season.
Yeah.
and he would have this year had he not been injured.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, maybe it's quarterback play, but yeah, to me, Mekhi Lemon, he's the number one. But anyways, I'm up. So here, to your point, you can easily go Mendoza, but I'm gonna go receiver again.
Yeah.
I think Jordan actually is probably going to be the first receiver taken, and I'm going to go Jordan Tyson.
Yep.
Really, 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 really like his game. I like all three of these guys' game, and yeah, I think there's a huge drop off after those three.
For sure.
But to your point, and this is something to keep in mind, we're doing a mock draft just based off best player available. But say you have the 102, 105, right? And you don't really have a preference on the receiver, then you probably do take, or if you have the 103 and the 105, right? You probably do take Mendoza because one of the three top receivers will fall to you. So there's a little bit of strategy here. Sometimes people have multiple picks. Like there's a league I have like the 105 and the 110, so not in the same situation here, but you have to play the board a little bit. But just straight off of best player available, like how we've drafted so far is how I'm thinking about how it's going to transpire. But the reason I bring that up is there is a larger drop off from QB1 to QB2 than there is from wide receiver 3 to wide receiver 4, or wide receiver 1 to wide receiver 3. So it's the real light at QB this year.
Yeah. And to your point, at 105, I would be thrilled to take Mendoza, especially in Superflex. I think he's going to a good situation, new coach, new offense. He's got Genty, he's got Bowers, he's gonna have Tom Brady in his ear. Yeah, that's if I'm at 105 and Mendoza's available, I'm slamming that.
That's a great pick. That's probably the best value in the draft. 106 is where it gets tricky, actually.
And this is where you go with your gut and your scouting rather than playing the board here.
Yeah. For me personally, I need to watch more Jadarian Price because it looks like he's creeping up to RB2 now.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like a Cardinal Tate thing. It's like, how do you evaluate someone that had a better player in front of him? So it's tough. But yeah, even in tight end premium, I'm pretty hesitant on Kenyon Sadiq. I'm not even entirely sure he's my tight end one right now.
Agreed.
So I'm going to go KC Concepcion, as I've scouted him and Denzel Boston, and I like KC more.
Yeah. And you look at the production there, almost 1,000 yards. I've seen some people have him ranked as high as number 2 in this class, which I think is, I gotta watch the film. But we talk about Lemon, Tate, Tyson, and then there being a tier break. I think KC is next guy up after that tier break. Okay, so this is an interesting spot here for me, but I'm going to go ahead looking at the stats here. And this is a guy we've talked about. One of those numbers jumps way off the page. And that's Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska. 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns, 370 receiving yards. I'm going to go get my guy here at 107.
Yeah, he's my guy too. I told you a couple of months back, I think he's my RB2, but honestly, you could argue even him over Casey Concepcion. It's just the community's not there yet, but I'm there. Like his tape is electric.
Yeah.
Electric. Like Barry Sanders light electric. Go watch his tape if you haven't seen him.
Yeah, and Nebraska, not a big name anymore, really. Shout out to the Cornhuskers. But yeah, he's got great tape, great production. I think he's going to be a 3-down back. And we'll see, draft capital is going to tell the story. But as of right now, this is the kind of towards the tail end of the first round is when you go, don't be afraid to make a move and grab your guy.
Yeah, and that's a tough one for me because that's actually who I was going to take, is between him and KC.
Yeah, 108. I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to give my opponents advice.
Yeah, I mean, I think here just the best player variables. This is while I might not do this, and then we'll see how the board plays. Like, I want to make sure our listeners are listening to us when we say, hey, take the best player available. And right now, Kenyon Sadiq is the best player available. We'll see what happens after kind of combine season and we get more information. I don't think he's going to stay here, but as of right now, he is, and that's who we're going to draft. But I absolutely love Emmett Johnson over Sadiq already. Like, I would absolutely have done that. No question. Emmett Johnson might be closer to Jeremiah Love than he is to RB.
Yeah. All right. 109. There's a couple guys here I like. This might be a situation where I'm looking to trade back if I have this pick. Get a couple, maybe some mid seconds. But if I'm staying at 109 here, I'll roll the dice on Denzel Boston. I think he's got the physical tools, probably needs some polish to his route running, but those things can be coached. Size, speed, those cannot be coached. So, yeah, he looks like Alpha X receiver. And again, we'll see where he gets drafted, but I'll take him at the back of the first round.
Wow, there's some value down there. I love how shout out to First Down Studio for having the stats of the players here. Again, I think anywhere from 108 back, you can think about trading back.
Yeah, I would agree.
106, 107, I think you
depending on how your draft rolls.
Depending on how it rolls. I think you stay because there's some players you can get. But here I am gonna go Coleman. I think he profiles as a 3-down back. Yeah.
All right. So 2-1. Now this is tough for me. Now the opinions of this guy has been all over the place, but I'm going to trust my eyes and what I saw in the playoffs and the championships and the number of touchdowns produced, and I'll go Elijah Surratt.
Nice. I thought you were going to go there.
People kind of knock his athleticism, but he seems like a really mature captain type guy. Might not be the fastest, but good blocker, good hands, good route runner. And like I said, trust your eyes in the playoffs and the championship. And he's a national champion. I know Mendoza was throwing him the ball, but there's a couple times when he bailed him out too. So
here I am going to have to go Jadarian Price. I haven't seen too much of his tape yet, so he might be a riser for me, but 13 TDs as the backup RB. I'm like, what does he look like as a starter?
Yeah,
right?
averaging 6 yards a clip. Pretty good. All right. So at 203, I'm going to make a move here. We said this is tight end premium. I'm going to jump ahead of the professor on this and grab Eli Stewart out of Vanderbilt. I think he's going to be rising during the combine process. Before the season, he was pretty much consensus tight end 1. He'll come on back to that. Former quarterback, understands routes, understands concepts. I think he's going to be somebody's friend in the NFL. And a lot of teams using 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, like the Bears were doing last year. I think he comes in and contributes.
Yeah, I think he's going to be great. We'll see what happens with the draft process, but I'm not against drafting him in the first. Right, so this is start 10. So technically, this is basically the 201 where you just got him. He's going to be in the first, in 12 team for sure. 10 team, probable, I would say. But that was my guy. I thought about him over Price, but here, this is kind of for where we are in the draft process, dart throw area. Nick Singleton season-ending injury. So I'm actually going to go value, and I'm going to go Ty Simpson. So very polarizing QB, but if he hits, this is an absolute steal. So last year, the QB that went in this range, Tyler Shuck.
Yep.
Think you're kind of getting a prospect in that realm, but honestly, probably Tyler Shuck plus. His biggest knock for Ty Simpson is just hasn't started enough games, but he grew up with a dad that was a football coach, grew up dissecting defenses, at the dining room table. You wonder if that's going to be enough or if that's the difference to kind of expedite his developmental curve, because mentally he's just more advanced because he grew up with like a football coach, right? It's like it's not normal, right? Usually you go home and, you study by yourself. Like he had it, 24/7. So we'll see what happens with him.
Deal. Yeah, I think draft capital is going to be huge for Simpson. But yeah, he reminds me of, if you drafted Shuck or Dart or somebody in the second like that, you're probably pretty happy with your return on investment right there. So I think that's good value. So to be fair, I haven't done a lot of scouting on Antonio Williams, Jacoby Lane, or Omar Cooper. This class is so deep at receiver that I'm still kind of doing my homework. But go back up. Chris Bell is a name too that I've seen a lot. Like look at this depth for a receiver right here. It's insane. But I think just for the value right now, I'm gonna go Antonio Williams out of Clemson. He's a 3-year starter. Looks like he played mostly out of the slot. Really good route runner. Has lots of explosion and could be a nice wide receiver 3 rookie year with room to grow, depending on where he gets picked.
I'm going to go Zachariah Branch.
Yeah.
So I watched him. I've been scouting him since his USC days. He was a very highly sought after high school prospect. Coming out of high school, they comped him to Tyreek. I'm not sure he's that fast, but similar measurables. And I think Georgia. First of all, USC had a really kind of wonky offense back when like Caleb Williams was there. I didn't really like it. It's pretty putrid, to be honest. But as far as Georgia, like it's just too many screens, but like I can't really blame that on the player. I want to see what he looks like when they open up the playbook for him, let him, run different routes. Kind of similar to like Luther Burden when he was at Missouri. I felt like they kind of ran too many screens with him and then didn't let him like really kind of like open up and see what he could do versus like when he was on the Bears. I was like, yeah, I don't think anyone saw him doing that his rookie season. So I kind of see something similar with Zachariah Branch. That's just me. So I'm definitely going to take that chance at 2.6.
Yeah.
It's talent, right? You got to bet on the talent.
I watched him a bit in the playoffs. I thought he was open a ton. It was just Gunnar Stockton didn't really. Either he was facing pressure from Ole Miss's line. He just missed him a lot. Okay, so this is a little tricky here. Chris Bell is a guy I really like, but I'm going to go with my guy out of the University of Tennessee, Chris Brazell II. I think physically checks all the boxes. He's got some room to grow on his frame. The only downside, Tennessee doesn't really play a pro offense. They haven't had a lot of receivers translate to the NFL, but I'm going to take a chance at this dude here and go Vols.
Sure. And part of this is I haven't done a deep dive into some of these receivers that are available and like what's considered best player available here. But regardless, someone who I have watched a ton of, and I like Max. I like Max as well, but Katron Allen I watched since his rookie season at Penn State. So when he was with Nicholas Singleton.
Yeah.
And Penn State has produced a lot of great pros recently. Great system. But the big thing I would say with both Katron Allen and to a lesser extent Nick Singleton now because he's injured is they split carries. So this man right here doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on him. And he's still splitting carries 50-50 essentially touches with Nick, put up 1,300 rushing yards and 15 TDs. I'm smashing this right here. Late second round.
Yeah.
Very durable.
Yeah, you're taking Katron over Nick Singleton. Again,
Nick Singleton injured.
There's a ton of value here. Jacoby Lane, Omar Cooper, who was also on Indiana. Chris Bell, I think, is a really interesting talent.
Well, again, I want to double click on what you just said. Nick Singleton is going to be out for the season, so
yeah,
you're going to be able to get him in the you're going to be able to get him in like probably as an undrafted free agent, depending on where how many rounds are in your league. But I mean, yeah, that's a fair point. It's not really that great of a class. So maybe you're gonna have to get him in like the third or fourth, but I wouldn't draft him in the second. There's gonna be too much value. Because his draft capital is gonna go down. He's probably gonna go in like the fifth or sixth now with the injury.
Now, I'm probably gonna get flamed for this pick, but this is my last pick of a 2-round draft. So I want to take my guy here, and that is Mike Washington Jr. out of Arkansas. Dude is physically a force. He runs some nasty routes for his size and for a running back. He needs to work on ball security, needs to work on pass protection. Those things can be coached. I said my comp for him was LeGarrette Blount, just trucking guys. And, my last pick, I'm taking the Razorback, Mike Washington Jr. And y'all can tell me how dumb I am in the comments.
All right, last pick. Yeah, I'm going to go Chris Bell.
Yeah, I think that's good. We got to look into Jacoby Lane. We've been looking at Lemon, but I want to see what he's done. All right.
Got it. All right. This is a better draft than I think some people are projecting.
All right. We're back, and we are kicking it off with office hours. The professor is open for business. And let's start out. We got a comment on our YouTube on our Travis Hunter video. And Jesse says, would you do 109 for Travis Hunter, or is that too much?
109 this year's draft?
Yes.
Yes, I would.
That's a yes. 109 for Travis Hunter straight up. Yeah, I think we said buy the news here with Travis Hunter. If people are worried about that report of him playing cornerback too much, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's on the high end, but I would, just based off of like his potential and like just this is like could be the cheapest you could acquire him. But I would say part of it depends on where your team is. If you can wait for him to break out in a year or two, right? I wouldn't do this if like, hey, I need him to be a starter next year. Maybe you can get a more win now player, but yeah, in Dynasty, I'm doing this all day. Like we just did the mock draft and who was going in the 109. Like
yeah, there's a tier break after
Angel Botstein.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Travis Hunter than like
for sure. All right, let's roll through some of these on Reddit. First one, 12-team Superflex 0.5 tight end premium. Give Tyler Warren, get Chase Brown in a 27 second.
Absolutely not. That shouldn't have been.
Oh,
absolutely not.
Next, skip that one. 12-team Superflex PPR rebuilding. Send 202 and 203. Receive Addison and the 308.
I would do that because I think Addison is a number one wide receiver on a different team.
Okay. I would actually, I like the value you can get at 202 and 203. I think that's a little rich for Addison for me.
Was that 12 team?
Yeah, 12 team super flex.
Yeah, 12 team.
And you're rebuilding. I mean, I like Addison. He's got some off the field issues. I don't know. I think you can get some value at 202 and 203, especially if you're rebuilding.
You might get another Addison.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, this is interesting. 14-team PBR or PPR, 1 QB. Give Genty and the 103 to receive Jahmyr Gibbs.
That's tough. That's really, really, really tough. I think you have to take the Gibbs side, honestly. That's tough. Yeah. You can go either way. You got to take the Gibbs side, though.
It depends on, if you're competing, I understand getting Gibbs here. If you're rebuilding, I would rather have Genty and 103 because you can get an elite wideout at 103, and Genty, I think he's going to ascend to a level where his production might be similar to Gibbs. It's one quarterback, so you're probably not taking Mendoza, but you have a shot at Tate, Lemon, or Tyson at 103. And I think Genty and a top receiver is, especially in 14 team,
Yeah, it's just guaranteed versus like the potential. Like
right, so it depends on.
I would do it.
It depends on where your team's at and what you're trying to do this season.
Yeah, and who the receiver is for me. If it's 102, then yeah, I'm probably taking that all day because you have your choice of receiver. But yeah, that's a great one. That sounds like it's a win-win trade.
Okay, 10-team 3RB format, and they're giving the 104 to receive Chase Brown. And that's a no for me.
You can get a better feedback.
Chase Brown, I think, has outperformed his draft capital, but we kind of saw his ceiling this year. And, running backs are easily replaced in the NFL. I think you got the best production out of Chase Brown. Speaking of Javonte Williams and team PPR Superflex, give the 26x108 to receive Javonte Williams. And the person receiving Williams is contending.
No, I'm not doing that.
You're not doing that?
Mm-mm.
I would. What?
It's a first and a second?
No, just the 108 straight up for Javonte Williams.
I thought it was the 108 and the 2 something. But 108 straight up, I'm still not doing that.
Yeah, I'll take this. I'll take the starter here. I'll take the guy who just signed the extension. I think there's a tier break around 108.
It's too early though. It's like I don't know what the 108 we think we know what it's going to be right now, but like you really don't know after the draft and the combine. Like draft classes can change. It's way too early for me to give a pick. I'd rather trade that on the clock, and I'm sure at 108 when you're on the clock you can get better than Williams. Like depending on how aggressive your league is for me.
Okay, deal. You heard the professor. All right, this one QB PPR. Give Garrett Wilson, receive pick 102.
What are you doing?
I mean, so one QB that drops Mendoza down. So you're rolling the dice on whether you think Lemon, Tate, or Tyson is going to be better than Garrett Wilson. In this case, if you're competing, I'd rather have Wilson. Again, give me the proven commodity. I think this is a little rich. As a Wilson owner, would you move him for 102 right now?
I would actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like him. I think I have him in every Dynasty league that I'm in. So I'm like, I would because
You like Lemon more?
I do like Lemon more, honestly. And who's to say that, I think the big thing for me is because he got injured this year. He was Mr. Iron Man before me, and maybe that's just a freak injury year, but like it is concerning.
Yeah, and he's 25 years old still, Garrett Wilson.
Also, who's the Jets quarterback? Yeah, I'm taking
no idea.
The 102. I'm taking the 102 actually.
Probably not on their roster. Yeah, that's a tough one. All right, let's see here.
Yeah, actually, I think the move would be to do that and then trade the 102 when you're on the clock.
Yeah. Okay. 10-team Superflex point PPR. Give Tony Pollard, get 209.
I can get more for Tony, but would I do that? Yeah, I probably would, because you don't know if he's going to be a starter next year.
Yeah, I'm looking to sell Tony Pollard. I don't have any Tony Pollard shares. I mean, 209, there's guys like Mike Washington, Atron Allen. There's going to be some guys that I like better at running back than Pollard, especially given the mileage on him and the team he plays for. But I think that's fair value.
Yeah.
Okay, this is interesting. 14-team PPR, one quarterback. Give Rashee Rice, Hawkinson, the 104 and the 107 to receive the 101 and Colston Loveland.
Wait, say the other side again.
So Rashee Rice, Hawkinson, 104 and 107. And they would be receiving the 101 and Colston Loveland.
The 101 and Colston Loveland side in a heartbeat. That's ridiculous.
Slam it.
Are you kidding me?
Slam it.
Invite me to that league, whatever league that is, please.
Yeah, geez. All right. PPR 12-team, 1 QB. RJ Harvey, Pat Bryant, and a 2027 second for Chris Olave and a 2027 third.
Say the RJ Harvey side again.
RJ Harvey, Pat Bryant, and a 2027 second for Chris Olave and a 2027 third.
I'm taking the RJ Harvey side because I am actually very high on Pat Bryant. I think he's going to be like a 3-year breakout, like a Nico Collins type. I'm not saying he's going to be Nico, but like I think that level of player, like he's like a Pro Bowl potential type player, especially in that offense. And the other receivers are going to kind of age out.
So there's 3 responses to this, and they all say Olave by a lot. But I'm gonna agree with you because I'm also really high on RJ Harvey going into next year.
Yeah, I'm high on RJ Harvey, but I also think Pat Bryant, like I said, I think he'll be like in Dynasty because that's what we care about here. I think he is going to be a top 24 player.
Also, the 2027 class is going to be stacked, and I would take a second round in exchange for a third round. I think that's going to have good value. So we're going to disagree with the Redditors here and take the Harvey side.
And they're going to draft a receiver, which, they don't have Rashid Shaheed anymore. So, like, I don't know. If they draft Tate, is Olave still the one? If they draft Lemon, if they draft Tyson, like, that's in the realm of possibilities. They're not going to just put Shark out there with Olave.
Yeah. Okay, 12-team Superflex, half-point tight end premium, trade Sam Darnold to get Sam Laporta.
I'm not doing that. Is this tight end? Is this 2 tight end? Tight end premium?
Yeah, tight end premium, super flex.
No, I'm not doing that. Dude, Darnold is about to get a contract. I'm not saying he's Baker, but he's a great QB3 at this point. Like, I need more than
So
Laporta.
you're keeping Sam Darnold?
Of course. Yeah, he's won a Super Bowl. He's coming off a high. You can get more, right? Like, I'm not saying you can get Colston Loveland and Sam Darnold, but you could probably get, like, I don't know, like George Kittle and like a rookie tight end that needs like a Terrence Ferguson, like something like that. Like, I would need like a bona fide, like has been top 5 tight end and a prospect and like a pick. Like Sam Darnold's peak right now. What is he for you? QB? Is he top 15 QB? Top 12?
I think he has to be.
Yeah, I think he's probably top 12 right now. Definitely top 15. I'm not giving a top 15 QB for a top 10 tight end.
And I think if Kenneth Walker does leave in free agency and JSN gets the deal he's expected to get, this is going to be a air it out offense for Seattle next year. And if they re-sign Shaheed, yeah, he's going to be airing it out. He showed he can throw the deep ball. His confidence is probably through the roof.
And if you have
Laporta's fallen off a bit.
I was going to say you should be trying to get rid of him, but I don't think he fell off in so much that they drafted like Tesla, who's a good player, who's going to continue to ascend. Yeah. But the big thing for Laporta is that the league just got better at tight end, right? So like in his own class, the Packers tight end Tucker Kraft broke out, right? And then past draft, at least recent draft classes, you have Tyler Warren, you have Colston Loveland, you have Harold Fannin Jr. That's just 4 guys from last year's class. They're all going to bump him down, give or take if you think it's better, if you don't, what have you. Arani Gadsden. So it's like the tight end space is the best that's probably been for fantasy, like maybe ever. So he's just more disposable. Not disposable, but he's more expendable.
Yeah.
So
agreed. And also the other thing for Laporta is Ben Johnson is gone. So it's Ben Johnson's offense that maximized, his abilities. And to your point, you draft a guy like Tesla, they re-signed Jameson Williams.
Okay.
Yeah. J-Mo Williams and Amon-Ra. I think they're going to be thrown to the wideouts more with whatever coordinator they have. Okay. Anything else of note here?
Listen, that's some great questions.
All right, last one. This is kind of a big one. 12-team Superflex. They traded Joe Burrow, and received the 101 and Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams went on one side by a mile. By a mile.
I mean, would you even do Caleb Williams for Joe Burrow straight up right now?
No,
not
after that throw he did in the playoffs. Like, he is on another level.
Yeah.
That draft class is crazy.
Joe Burrow's on his way he's almost 30. He had the stink in the media this year about not having fun. Like,
he's fine, but here's the thing. He has a new QB.
He's fine, but if you can sell him for a guy like Caleb, who's ascending, and then package that with Jeremiah Love, like, dude, that's robbery.
Yeah.
Would you do as a Caleb owner, let's say he sends you Joe Burrow and the 101 of this year. Would you do that?
Caleb? Nah.
Yeah, see?
Because I think Caleb is like Aaron Rodgers, man. Like, he's going to be in that top 5 QB.
He's blue chip
for 10 years. Chip. He was hyped and he showed it in year 2 of first year in Ben Johnson's offense. Like, him and Colston Loveland, if you have 2 of those players, you got to hold on for dear life.
Yeah. All right. Hang on really quick. Let's just see. So looking at keep trade cut, Josh Allen is still number 1 at quarterback. Caleb Williams currently at 13, sitting behind Jaden Daniels. He's now above Lamar Jackson. Let's see where they have. So they have Jeremiah Love at 22 overall right now, above Patrick Mahomes.
And Dynasty startup?
Just overall rankings, yep.
Okay,
so yeah, for Dynasty startup, they have him 22.
I mean, he's going to be a hell of a player. He's probably, for me, he's a better prospect than Genty was. I mean, we'll see how high he goes, but I mean, He's probably closer to that like Saquon.
Yeah.
I think that's
They have Mendoza at 44, right below Jordan Love.
that's about right.
Bucky Irving at 46, Bryce Hall at 47, Earl Fannin all the way up to 48 in tight end premium. Man, I should have friggin' picked
He's
him.
elite.
Yeah.
Me and both.
They got Mekhi Lemon at 53, Now Tate at 56. Love Marvin Harrison Jr. Sam Laporta down at 57.
Interesting. Marvin needs he needs a season. He has it in him, but it's time to show up.
Sadiq, they got at 86. Javonte Williams, 91, who we just talked about. Travis Hunter at 93, right above Denzel Boston. So going back to that 108 for Travis Hunter, and this is the lowest his value. His value has dropped. He's dropped 20 points on the board. I think he's a buy low.
Yeah, I will say I'm in a league where I just got him for a second, any second. So I think it was like a mid to late second.
You got Travis Hunter for a second?
Yeah, mid to late second.
Yeah. Of this year?
No, it's in the league that you and I are in. I think I said the 2028 second.
Okay. Oh, it's 2028. Yeah, I don't know much about that class. What's interesting to me is the 2027 early first round pick is ranked at 23 above Patrick Mahomes, Amari and Hampton, and Jackson Dart. 2027 early. Yeah, it's going to be a loaded class. There's not only Arch. I think it's going to be like that class you had where you got Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels and had the opportunity to get Drake May too.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a class where you can load up at quarterback. All right. We good?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That was office hours. This is Highly Disputed, coming at you once a week or more, all off season long.
Mm-hmm.
We got the link right below. Give us a subscribe, give us a follow, show us some love, drop us some comments, and we'll respond on air. Thank you for your time, Professor. I know you got a big night tonight. He's going to see Cardi B.
I'm going to see Cardi B with wifey and some friends, but ready to have a good time for sure.
Yeah, take a nap. You're up early.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you next week, boss.
Highly disputed.